skinny type of line. Is that coachable? Or
There's only so much technique and fundamentals you can give a guy, at the line of scrimmage. At the end of the day, it's their God-given talent that allows them to reduce their surface, and you can talk about some things to try to help them, but at the end of the day, he's so quick that it's really difficult to put hands on him. And we definitely had some opportunities to try to push the ball down the field. The way that they play their defense and their man coverage it's difficult to get some shots down the field on because of how they add on their linebackers and man coverage and basically create 6 and 7 man pressures when it's really just a 4-man rush to start with. So it's difficult to push the ball down the field against those kind of teams, but obviously he can get open and make some plays.
Looked like the interception again was sort of similar
Same
to
play.
last week. Yeah.
Same exact play. Just so we're all same exact play. And the look though, I got to give Steve Wilkes credit. He came out and gave us he man aligned in some looks and played zone. So what I mean by that is he put his linebacker out on our running back and empty and played zone, which is something that we saw in the NFL for a couple of years there that really causes you some headaches because they're giving you man indicators but playing zone coverage behind it. So Will was actually giving Smoke a one-on-one opportunity with his eyes, trying to hold his safety with his eyes to go to throw to Smoke, but they were playing cover 3. And then Isaiah just pops. He throws it to him high and hot again and ends up getting picked.
Because Will just throws the ball so hard. Is there just going to be some of these deflection?
I think so. I think that there's something that we're going to continue to work on, and I think that it's something he got better at throughout the week. It's just the play was off schedule. It was late. The timing was off. We just got to be a little bit smarter in terms of how we, if you don't like it, just move on and progress. I'm not saying that it was something else was open, but we don't have to force it.
you don't throw that play out of your playbook?
No, it's too good of a play. It's been open both times.
Liam, I know you watched a lot of Kentucky video before you took this job. Christopher Rodriguez is what you expected, better than you expected?
Probably better in a lot of ways because he just doesn't take negatives. He doesn't take negative yards runs. Obviously, we got to take care of the football. And that's a big key, and we put him away before the half. I mean, I'm not saying we put him away, but you're up 3 scores going in the half. You feel a lot better about yourself, but he definitely he came up to me and said, "Coach, I got it. I'll take care of it." And I ended up putting him back on the ground again. But I just love the kid so much. It's hard for me to get mad at him. It's really hard. And like we talked about it, I don't know if it was you, Josh, who asked me about the question about the run game from game 1 to game 2. We rushed for 340 yards. And, that was the kind of game it needed to be, and that was the game it had to be. And we felt like we had a great plan, and Chris was a big part of that plan.
You talked about dictating the offense to the defense
Yeah.
rather than take it looked like it sort of was like a, they can't stop this.
That was what it was. I mean, at the end of we needed to. I wanted to see us take a jump in the run game from week 1 to week 2, and we did that. And I got to credit the guys up front, Eric Wolford, our offensive line coach, and Vince Merrill, the tight ends. I mean, we really executed in the run game. We had some things, of course, but we got the explosive from Wandell on the jet sweep early. We got 40 yards rushing out of Will, and then you get 200 plus out of Smoke and Chris, and that helps. It helps getting everybody involved in the run game.
Did you come in thinking Will? Strong quarterback rolling his shoulder running over?
It scares me a little bit, but he's a freak, so I don't worry too much because he's a competitor. I'd like him to be smart, but he's gonna dive and he's not gonna slide very often, which we need to make sure we try to practice a little bit. But he's a competitor. He wants to win and he wants to help his team, win the game. And he knows that he can be a weapon running the football, and I think that it showed up tonight a little bit.
That's some of why these other guys want to play for him.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kyle. It's just he has that way about him that I was just watching the highlights when he scores on the touchdown. I mean, he's a psycho. He's nuts, in a lot of ways. It's great because that's what you want out of your quarterback. You want that guy to be the guy that everybody looks to and brings energy and juice, which he does every single day at practice, which he does every single game so far. And wasn't a type of game that we were throwing a bunch, but it just played out that way. We went into it wanting to establish the run. I mean, Central Michigan had ran for 200 plus on those guys last week or whatever it was, and we felt like we needed to come in and establish the run game and win the line of scrimmage, and it just so happened that we ended up rushing it for like 50 times or whatever it was. I mean, I don't even really know. It's just didn't end up being a game that you didn't have to throw it that much.
As much as you lean on the run, though, how much did you need to see that Will could make, and the guys could make the throw when you had to throw?
Which
When
we
everybody
did.
knew you
The
were gonna
third
throw,
down to
you know?
Wandell was a huge play. On that last drive where he hits Wandell on the slot fade, you know, that's a tight window throw. Will did an unbelievable job in man coverage of holding the free safety with his eyes. Snap to Wandell, who won. That really wasn't a play we had probably had in the game plan on third down in that situation, but at the end of the day, it's about getting your best players the ball in those situations, and that was what happened.
That wasn't just an arm thing, like you said.
No, that was technique, that was fundamentals, that was decision, that was everything.
I mean, what's the mood as a coach when you've got a blowout, you've got a big SEC win now, but it feels like you all still think there's more room?
It's a
to
good
go
feeling.
ahead? Yeah.
It's a good feeling knowing that you didn't even really do what you really should have or could have done and won the game. It's always nice to win the game because the players come in and they're so much more open to coaching. And that's what's nice, is you can say, hey guys, we won and we did some good things, but X, Y, and Z. And that's kind of how we felt last week about the run game. Hey, we did some great things in the pass game, but we all know we need to be able to run the football to win SEC championship, to win football games in the SEC. And I didn't know how we'd respond, to be honest. And I kind of had a feeling that we'd respond this way, knowing the big blue wall and knowing our O-line and knowing the O-line coach and the running backs and